All right, we are officially live on YouTube another Monday evening for Boss Teacher Live. I'm excited to have everybody on joining with us. We have a very, very special guest, which I'm going to introduce to you in a few, but I'm giving all right, we are about 60 more seconds to join the live so we can have a very interactive session. Jump on in the chat and join the conversation. I want everybody to be super active in the chat so we can have a very hearty conversation this evening. We are going to be talking about money. Money. And who doesn't like to talk about money? Who doesn't like to know that there's money coming to you? So we have somebody joining us already. Yay! Welcome, early bird. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. And I want to ensure that you're all hearing us loud and clear. So first of all, type in the chat and let us know where you are watching from. Type in the chat and let us know where you're watching from tonight so we can big you up. And if you're not from Jamaica, bigging up somebody basically means just, what's the simplest way to put it? I don't know. I've lost words, but it's just a hi, a hello in the most exotic way. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Most exotic ways, because we Jamaicans, we don't just say hi normally, or our highs are not basic, you understand? Our highs are just at another level. So jump on in the chat and let us know where you are watching from. I want to thank you first of all for joining us, and I know for a fact that tonight you are going to get some amazing nuggets that is going to help you build a business and a life that you love. So let's jump right into it. I want to share with you this evening a friend of mine, a student of mine, a colleague of mine. What else can I call her? So many adjectives I could ascribe to her. But tonight's very special guest is Charlene. And Charlene is a chartered accountant by profession. So you might be thinking in your head, what in the world does Julia have a chartered accountant on? Why is she here on the Boss Teacher Live? That's what we're going to be talking about over the next few minutes, right? She has been in this career for the past 20 years. But this is where Charlene comes into the picture and why she's here tonight. She has recently launched her financial coaching business. And Charlene is going to tell us a lot more about that, a lot more about why she decided to go that route. By the way, just a hint, she still has her full-time job. She has not quit. So her business is her side hustle. So this is where you need to have your ears like really perched and ready to listen, because I'm pretty sure she's going to have some awesome nuggets to share with you on this episode of Boss Teacher Live. So Charlene, thank you so much for sharing tonight with us. I appreciate you coming on. So welcome. This is your official welcome to the Boss Teacher.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody.
All right. So I'm sure the people want to know. Tell us a little bit about your career as a chartered accountant. Like just in maybe a minute or two, just take us from day one until the day you decided, I want to become a personal finance coach.
Right. So I went to college and studied accounting and management studies. And right after that, I started working at a public accounting firm, one of the big four audit firms. And about 4.5 years after that, I moved to Cayman and moved to another public accounting firm and spent a year and a half there, and then left the public practice and went into private practice, where I've been practicing for about 10.5 years. So overall, about, almost 20 years. It sounds very long and makes you feel very old, but the numbers don't lie. Yeah, I've been an accountant for all of that time.
Oh my goodness, Charlie, but you look like about 16, man. You look like you're 16. It can't be so.
No, you're so sweet.
Okay. So you mentioned to me that you felt a tug on you to launch out into something different many years before you actually did it.
Yeah.
Why did it take you so long?
Uh,
Oh
Fear,
my,
and not wanting to dedicate the time that I knew it would take to actually get it up and off the ground, and laziness. if I,
fear and laziness.
yeah, yeah. If I should be honest,
No, but I am happy that you call it out for what it is because
yeah,
some people they see it and they know that they're just lazy, but they just want to blame it on everything else except the fact that you just won't get up and do what you're supposed to do. So
that's
you
all it boils down to being, yeah.
fear and laziness. So
Mm-hmm.
what were some of the things that you were fearful of though?
I was fearful of failing, fearful of trying and not being successful, because the type of person that I am, I've always, whatever I put my head to, I've always succeeded at it, right? Whether school or personal stuff. If I say I'm going to do something, it's gonna get done and gonna get done well. So not knowing what starting a side business entails, and not knowing exactly how to get it off the ground, what's entailed, and if it would actually be profitable and make money. It caused me to just shy away from it and just continually pushing it in the back burner. Every time the thought would come up, I would put it in the back burner and said, you know what, I'll just stick to my 9 to 5 and just keep grinding at it and hopefully get rich off it and call it a day.
So you had a lot of what ifs in the back of your mind, like what
Oh
if
yeah.
this fail? What if this didn't go the way I planned? What if I look stupid when I launch out this thing and it doesn't take off? Like all
Yep.
of those held you back for how long? Please tell us the numbers because I like to hear those numbers. How long did it take you?
Uh, I'd say at least 7 to 8 years.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
You know why I like to ask that question in particular? Because you find that so many people will sit down with this idea and they have this amazing idea. They have this passion in their heart and they sit with it and they don't even realize that time is moving so fast. And it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years since they've had this idea, this burning desire. And then 20 years down the line, they look back in regret and wondering, where did all this time go? For me, I had the idea to launch out for all of 4 years.
Mhm.
And I thought that was a lot. But when you say 7 to 8 years, you realize that fear can really hold us back and prevent us from being the best that we can be and showing up as our best possible self in this earth. So I'm just saying this to let everybody know that if you are feeling the fear to step out, to launch out, to step into the unknown, into uncharted waters, you are not alone. Charlene has been through it. I have been through it, and there are tons of entrepreneurs today with success stories who could tell you the exact same thing, that they have had the fear and they let it hold them back. But let me ask you this. Is there anything that you learned during that process that you probably would not have learned if you had not gone through that experience?
Through the process of waiting, through the process of waiting 8 years,
Yeah. Is there anything that you learned during that period that you're not regretful of?
that I'm not regretful of, no. There's a lot that I regret,
There's a lot that
actually.
you regret. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got you, got you. And because some people say, okay, I've been through that phase, but I'm happy I went through it because I learned X, Y, Z. But here is Charlene saying something completely different, that you wish you had taken the leap earlier.
Mhm.
And so you're living in regret. And that's what we're trying to prevent from happening, to let people understand that feel the fear. Yes, you're going to feel afraid. Yes, but do it anyway because you don't want to be in a state of regret. But now knowing what you are doing in this earth, does it give you some kind of encouragement to say, yes, I finally did it?
Oh yeah. It's like when I when I actually work with my clients, I get this buzz and I get this high, and I feel this sense of accomplishment that I'm actually doing what I know I was put on earth for. And
Awesome.
it sounds cliche, but it's true. It's not a cliche. I guess once you experience it, then you know you know that feeling. You know deep down that yeah, I'm actually doing what I was mandated to do.
Awesome. So let's talk about that it. You talk about the it that you are doing now. What is it that you do now that gives you so much satisfaction?
So I do personal financial coaching where I help people to transform their mindset as it relates to money. A lot of persons are struggling with not knowing where their money is going from month to month. They might be in debt, might not be saving or investing enough. And that's where I step in. With my help, I've been with my knowledge and expertise, I've been able to help people, especially women, overcome their fear of managing their finances and actually give them a roadmap as to how they can accomplish certain financial goals within X amount of time, whatever their timeline is.
And I know I've shared this with you already, but let me say it publicly. This is an area that is very near and dear to my heart. And I said to Charlene a few weeks ago that if I had met her 10 years ago with the best friend, because I remember 10 years ago, my husband and I, we were just in the market. We needed somebody like Charlene to help us. We didn't know anything about creating wealth. We didn't know anything about budgeting. We didn't know anything about managing money. They didn't teach us that in school. Our parents didn't tell us anything. But we realized that there was a way to actually get a handle of your money so you can actually start building wealth. And we went from bank to bank to bank, financial institution to financial institution. And everybody was telling us the same thing. Invest in this product, invest in this thing that the bank has to offer, and you will get good returns on your money. We had nobody who was neutral to say, to speak on our behalf then. Everybody was just trying to push a product on us, and we were actively searching for somebody like Charlene to help us out, and we couldn't find it. So I understand the importance of what you do, and I wish people would really understand the importance of somebody like you in their lives to be able to help them to navigate their finances and ultimately start building wealth. So, Charlene, I know this didn't come out of nowhere. I know it didn't just come because you're a chartered accountant. Can you share a little bit of your story of how you had to overcome your own issues with money to get to the place where you are today?
Right. So I grew up in a household that, it was very frugal. My parents never wasted money, but for some reason it didn't stick in my head. So once I got my first job, I felt rich. And feeling rich, all I did was spend, spend, spend. The problem was I was spending more than I was bringing in. I would pretend to save every month only to withdraw what I saved that month and even more. I would end up relying on credit cards. And before you knew it, I was in debt. I moved countries, moved here with debt, and accumulated even more debt. And the problem was I was just spending without no concern about how I was going to repay this debt. And it used to frustrate me. It used to stress me out to no end. I felt like a failure. And given that I'm an accountant, one of the chief tasks of an accountant is to account for people's money. And here I was getting up from 9 to 5 every day, being able to account for every penny of my client's money. And I couldn't tell you where my own money was going. And I just got fed up one day and said, this cannot be life. And I just started digging and researching. I read every book I could lay my hands on as it related how to get out of debt. I used to listen to all these podcasts, read a lot of blogs, read a lot of articles, and then I came up with a roadmap for myself to eventually clear off all my debt. And it's been 8 years and I've been debt free ever since. So doing all of that, it developed a passion in myself, within me for personal finance. And then I realized that I could actually help other persons to either not make the same mistakes I did or learn how to rectify the mistakes that I made. And that's where my purpose, I would say, was birthed. But I buried it, as I told you, for 8 years.
But nevertheless, 8 years of being completely debt free. That
Yes.
is a milestone that more than half of the population
Yeah.
cannot say, they cannot testify to that. So that alone is a great accomplishment. So you are using your own experiences with managing money along with your professional expertise as an accountant for 20 plus years to help other women to do the same. So, for persons who really want to connect with you, Charlene, tell me, how can they find out more about working with you?
So I'm mostly on Instagram. My handle is Simplifying Finance. And the reason I chose that name is because I want to show persons that it is not very complex to manage your money. It flusters a lot of people, and the reason it flusters a lot of people is simply because they don't know where to start. And that's where I come in. I show persons exactly how to move from point A to B to C to D and achieve your own financial goals while moving from one point to the other. So all you have to do is come check out my Instagram page, Simplifying Finance. I always start with a free consultation call to see if we are a great fit for each other. And then we work together to come up with a personalized roadmap for you.
All right, so that is on the screen right now. And what I'm also going to do is drop the link to your Instagram profile inside of the chat. If you are watching the replay, I'm also going to leave a link to connect with Charlene in the description so you can reach out to her, schedule that free consultation, and decide how you're going to move forward to start putting your money together, because you never know where that one conversation will lead. It might lead you into a millionaire, a billionaire, and you look back 10 years and say, it's a good thing I was on that live with Julia the other night. That night.
You say it's true because a lot of persons, once you show them exactly how much they're able to save each month or invest each month and how much it will be worth in 5, 10, 15 years time, it totally blows their mind. But the key
Wow.
is to take action now. A lot of persons, regret not taking action sooner. I myself live in regret sometimes, as we spoke about earlier. But the key thing is to accept where you are and take action to change the situation now.
Awesome. And you can take action right now by clicking the link that I just shared in the chat or in the description of this video. So let's shift gears a little bit to talk about business, because like you, some people watching, some people listening might have had experiences in the past and they're thinking that this is something that they might want to share to help others. When you decided to take this personal finance journey seriously and turn it into a business, what were some of the roadblocks that you came up on when you initially, after the 8 years, and you say you're ready to start now? What were some of the issues you were having?
Honestly, not knowing what to do and where to start. Like I knew the basic framework. I want to help persons, but the problem is, how do I help persons in an online space, especially given that we are still in the middle of a pandemic, right? So face to face is definitely out. How do I reach these persons? Where do I find them? What kind of systems do I put in place in order to reach them and to keep them? I had no idea where to start.
Wow. And did you do any, like, because I know when some people come to me, they've been doing research, they've been going to webinars, they've been watching YouTube videos, or are you one of those people who are just down into a rabbit hole of consuming information?
No, ma'am, the Lord sent me to you or you to me. Because I started taking it serious on September 1st, and I met you in the middle of October.
Wow, these are the divine connections I like,
Yeah,
because you just cut out all the fluff. So
Mm-hmm.
for those persons who are currently down in the rabbit hole of just consuming every webinar possible, watching every YouTube video possible, what would you say to them about just all right, let me not preempt you, but what would you say to them?
I'd say you need to find someone who knows how to take you from A to Z and show you the pitfalls to avoid and how to actually move from point to point to point to point to point. Because I find that there's a lot of information out there, and you know how Google works. The minute you start looking for a particular thing, like you just start get flooded with all sorts of information, and then you don't even know where to go, what product to buy. You probably end up wasting a lot of money and not using the resources. And in this day and age where there are a lot of tricksters out there, it might end up being scammed. They need to find someone who you can trust, who has done it before and you've seen that they have helped others too. You need to find such a person who can show you exactly how to set up the whole framework from start to finish.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I stress the importance of mentorship so much, because it is going to cut your learning curve by, I can't tell you, a couple thousands of percent. It's going to save you so much time and so much money in the long run. And in case you haven't realized as yet, Charlene is a student of mine. She's a product of Boss Teacher. And this is a platform where I highlight the work of what my students are doing, my clients are doing, and the amazing impact they are having in the world. And so I take great pleasure in sharing what Charlene is doing with her business as Simplifying Finance. Now, are there any mindset shifts that you've had to make over the past few months? Now, here's why I ask this, because a lot of people, when they think about business, they think solely about the paper. They think solely about how much money they're going to make at the end of the month. A lot of persons are not concerned about what goes on up here. A colleague of mine says that the success of your business is determined by the 6 inches between your ears. Which right here. A lot of people are not focused on that. They just want to know the how. Tell me what to do and let me do it. And they don't realize that there are a lot of mindset shifts that might be holding them back from major success. And until that change, then their business is going to remain the same. So tell us about some of the mindset shifts that you had to undergo in the past few months.
Well, there are two major ones. One was that I deserve to have another source of income. You know, persons will look and say, oh, but you're in a good job already. Why are you killing up yourself to, pursue something else? But I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God. And when I read the word of God, I don't see anything in there that says, oh, I should only have this and no more, right? So that was one roadblock I had to get over. The fact that I could have it all. I could do more. I could be more. And I don't have to put myself in this little box that society puts me in. The second mindset shift I had to undergo was the fact that running a side business takes work, and I had to surrender to the process, not run from it, not cry, not sulk, not ignore it. I had to actually sit and do the work in order to see the results. So I had to get over the fact that, I have to give up some of my TV time. I had to give up some of the scrolling time on Instagram, because if I actually wanted to see this business take off, then I had to put in the work. I realized that it would come just by wishing or just by thinking. It actually took determination and effort.
Wow, I don't think I need to add to that at all. That was so powerful. It really is powerful because some people, and here is where the comparison thing comes in, because some people will get up and they're not putting in the work, but then they scroll through social media and see other people putting in the work and wonder why their business or their life is not flourishing the way they see Charlene's or Julia's. And they're not doing the thing that is needed to take their business to the next level. So I think that was really, really very powerful. I wanna ask you though before we close out tonight. And guys, this is the time. We're at 25 minutes past the hour. Please post your comments and your questions in the chat. I have 2 more questions on my list, and then I'm going to turn to the chat room. So if you have any questions, any comments for Charlene, please go ahead and type them now, and we'll definitely hop in before we go off. So final 2 questions. One is that, what are some of the tips that you would give to individuals who are just starting out on this personal finance journey and they just need a head start, right? First, well, let me give the first tip. Please make sure you click on the link and go schedule a consultation with her. That's tip number 1. But from a professional standpoint, what are some of the first things that they need to think about as they take on this journey?
The first thing is to actually know where your money is going. And the 2 ways to do that and they work together is by actually tracking your spending and doing a budget. Now, a lot of persons, and this used to happen to me a lot, we withdraw money from the ATM or we swipe our debit card or credit card, and we have no clue as to what the money was spent on and how much we spent in total for the month. I had a client the other day, and when we added it up, she didn't realize she was spending that much money on takeout because she buys breakfast on the road and she buys lunch on the road every day. Every day times 5 times 4 weeks. It added up to a lot of money. It was very eye-opening. So that's where I always tell persons to start. You might think that you spend $10,000 at the grocery store each week, when in reality, you probably spend close to 15, right? So always start with tracking your spending. And the second thing is to do a budget. A budget, some persons are afraid of it because they think it's restrictive, but all a budget is you dictating where you're going to spend your money. If you decide that for the entire month, you're going to spend all of your money on food, then that's fine. But then you know that you need to pay the mortgage or the rent, the utilities. If you have children, they need to go to school, etc., etc., etc. So spend some time and actually write down all of your bills and see if your income actually covers all of your expenses. So that's where I always tell my clients to start.
Okay, I love that tip, Charlene, because a lot of us look at the money and wonder, where in the world did it go? Did it disappear out of my hand? Did it levitate or something? But as you say, once you start tracking it, you see the full reality of where it actually went. So that's something that you can implement right now. Now, my final question, and then I'm going to be jumping into the chat to see if there are any questions or comments coming in, is what plans, if any, I don't know how fast in your business, what plans do you have for the future that people can look forward to your business, Simplifying Finance?
So I will be launching a group coaching program sometime soon. And later on in the year, I'll be rolling out my online course. So persons can just follow my page because I'll be sure to post it on Instagram. That's where I'm most active for exactly when I'll be launching the group coaching and the online course.
What you know, big things. Hey, I feel proud of you guys. I feel so proud when I hear things like these. So her information is on the screen and in the chat in the description as well. You can go and follow Simplifying Finance. So let me jump right into the chat now to see what's going on. Any questions? All right, Shakira is saying big up to you, Charlene. That's coming from Shakira. And CM Writing Services, aka Christine, is saying, keep up the good work and keep fulfilling your purpose. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for jumping into the chat and sharing those comments. Those are the kinds of comments that keep me coming back every Monday night. And I'm sure those are the kinds of things that Charlene loves to hear as well. It lets you know that you are doing a really good work. So thank you everyone for joining us. We are going to be here next week again, same time, same place, where we talk about life, business, and online courses. I want to especially thank Charlene for joining us, for giving us her time and just sharing a whole heap of nuggets of wisdom. Is a whole heap of things when I get tonight, you know? Trust me, holy. I'm sure you can take something from what she said and implement in your life so that you can go and transform your finances. Is there any last words you want to say, Charlene, or we're going to say goodbye here?
I'll just say, to anyone who is listening and who is afraid to step out and launch their business, just do it. Just take the leap, take the jump, and bet on yourself. Don't wait on others to invite you to a table. Build your own table.
Awesome. And that's how we're going to end it tonight. Build your own table. Don't forget to connect with Charlene at Simplifying Finance on Instagram so you can start your journey towards improving your finances. And any day you are ready to start your online course, y'all know where to find me, right? I say this every week. Go to thebossteacher.com and connect with me so we can help you to launch and profit from your online course. In the same way, I was able to help Charlene to really build out her coaching business. Those are the things that we do over here. We're building wealth, we're building generational wealth, we're helping people to live on purpose from their expertise and their experiences. We'll see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern for another Boss Teacher Live. Have a wonderful week. Bye.
Bye.